2 years ago, Trae Young led the 5th seed Atlanta Hawks to the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals in his 3rd season in the NBA. Though he would end up losing to the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks, Trae Young was hands down the best performer of that playoffs. In the 2020-21 playoffs, Young averaged 28.8 points, 9.5 assists, and a steal per game. Damn! Most notably, Trae Young would debut as the New York Knicks' new biggest villain in the first round, beating them 4-1. And then he will go on to beat the Sixers 4-3 in the second round.
That boy is good.
Eventually leading to the breakup of the Simmons and Embiid duo. We love you, Ben. In the following 2021-22 season, the Hawks will return with the same core, but things will take a turn for the worse. The Hawks finished that season tied for the 9th seed, barely making it out of the play-in tournament, and will go on to lose in the very first round of those playoffs to the Miami Heat. With that loss, Trae Young will go on to take a lot of misplaced criticism, especially with Luka Doncic making it to the Western Conference Finals. But the thing is, Trae Young did that same exact thing the previous season and had no significant upgrades on his roster, while Luka and the Mavs had a whole roster revamp mid-season. But that's besides the point. Let's get back on track.
Or I'm gonna lose my freaking mind!
Though Young and the Hawks didn't perform well in the 2022 playoffs, you can't erase the fact that Young had a superb regular season. Ice Trae averaged 28.4 points, 9.7 assists per game, both up from the previous season. He accomplished that with fewer turnovers per game, 1.4 less free throws per game, and a jump in shooting efficiency. Young's .536 efficient field goal percentage and .603 true shooting percentage were both the highest of his career. He also became the second player in NBA history to lead the league in total points and assists. Trae Young had arguably one of the greatest individual seasons in Hawks franchise history. And with the moves made this offseason, I only see things getting better for Trae and the Hawks going forward. In the 2022 draft, the Hawks' biggest pickup will go on to be 18-year-old shooting guard A.J. Griffin Jr. out of Duke University. Griffin is exactly what the Hawks need. On wingman, he will hit the three efficiently, though on defense he could be a liability at times. Hopefully AJ can stay healthy and contribute good minutes for the Hawks this upcoming season, especially with Kevin Huerter leaving for the Sacramento Kings. And it doesn't end there. This offseason, the Hawks traded Danilo Gallinari and up to 4 first-round picks in exchange for DeJounte Murray and Jocko Andale. This trade is huge for the Hawks. Adding another ball handler who can facilitate and create his own shot only takes eyes off of Trae, something Kevin Huerter was not able to do. DeJounte Murray last year on the Spurs averaged 21 points, 8.3 rebounds, 9.2 assists, and 2 steals. That's nearly a triple-double average by a guard who has the ability to shut down opponents on the perimeter. The kid is an all-around beast. And he also is one of the most efficient guards in the league last season, posting a .500 efficient field goal percentage. I ain't no chef, but I would say that's the ingredients to the most efficient backcourt of next season. The acquisition of DeJounte opens the floor for the Hawks tremendously. Having 2 guards who can keep defenses on their toes with their scoring as well as their passing ability will definitely keep other teams in the NBA up at night. Here's a little preview of what that looks like in action.
Oh my God! What the hell was that? Wow, that was amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
Exactly. The pickup of DeJounte also allows Trae to work more off the ball with a greater chance of success, something analysts commonly gave him slack for. Last year's playoffs, the Miami Heat swarmed Trae Young and made the Hawks rely on their other players to put the ball on the floor and beat them, but by the time DeAndre Hunter stepped up in Game 5, it was too late. This game plan will have to be thrown out with the acquisition of DeJounte Murray. When teams double Trae, they are left to deal with another scoring facilitator who can just as easily rip them apart. He will also help improve the Hawks' defense, which was one of the worst last year. Though I don't see it being a huge improvement, it's definitely a huge step in the right direction. This offseason, the Hawks also signed big man Frank Kaminsky to a 1-year deal. Though Kaminsky missed most of last season with a knee-related injury, in the 9 games he played for the Suns, he performed well, averaging 10.6 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game in 20 minutes average on the floor. Kaminsky even posted a career high of 31 points on November 10th, literally 11 days before it would be announced that his season will come to an end due to injury. Kaminsky is coming in on the Hawks to help offensively, but he can also be seen as a defensive liability at times. Hopefully the Hawks can get some good production out of Kaminsky in the paint this upcoming season. And for the last 2 offseason pickups for the Hawks, they picked up brothers Aaron and Justin Holiday. These 2 brothers are a much needed upgrade to the Hawks defense. Younger brother Aaron, who played for Coach Nate McMillan in the first 2 seasons of his career, should fill in well as a backup at the guard position. Older brother Justin, who played for the Pacers and Kings last year, has proven he can provide on both sides of the ball throughout his career. The addition of these two provides the Hawks with some much needed depth. Now that we got through all of the Hawks transactions going into this offseason, let's now talk about how these guys mix together on the floor. The Hawks' projected starting five as of late August 2022 is Trae Young and DeJounte Murray at the guard position, DeAndre Hunter and John Collins at forward, and Clint Capella at center, with brothers Aaron and Justin Holiday, Bogdan Bogdanovic, AJ Griffin, Mo Harkless, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, and Jock Landale providing depth off of the bench. We already spoke on the dual threat that Trae and DeJounte can become. Let's focus on the rest of the lineup for now. Last time we seen DeAndre Hunter, he was maturing well throughout the first round of the playoffs. He only averaged 21 points and 4 rebounds in that series, but if you check out the game log, he consistently increased his production as the Heat defense focused on Trae Young. In Game 5, he finished with 35 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 steals while being guarded by Jimmy Butler for the majority of the night. If he could perform like this next season, that could make the Hawks even scarier for Eastern Conference teams. And next we have John Collins. Last time we seen John Collins, he wasn't playing his best. He was attempting to play through injury, and while that's commendable, it may have hurt the team and could have potentially hurt his career, but let's thank the basketball god that he's okay. Though John Collins only averaged 9 points, barely 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and barely a steal in the block against Miami in the finals, let's not act like that's a John Collins defenses can expect to see on a nightly basis. In the 3 games played against Miami in the regular season, John averaged 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists, which mirrored his regular season average as well. Though Collins has been dropping in production the last few seasons, the additions to the roster made by the front office this offseason should help him tremendously on the floor. Let's be honest, Collins isn't meant to be a secondary scoring option. This doesn't mean he isn't good. John Collins for sure a rising star in this league, but the addition of DeJounte and AJ Griffin takes a huge weight off of his shoulders on the offensive end, spreading the floor and creating lanes for him to attack the basket more often. I can't wait to see what John Collins has in store for us this upcoming season. And finally, we have Clint Capella. Last season, Clint Capella seen a huge drop in offensive production, going from 15.2 to 11.1 points per game and 4.7 to 3.8 offensive rebounds per game. To make a long story short, his numbers dropped across the board. This as well can be contributed to injury. For a large chunk of the beginning of the regular season, Capella was playing through one. Coming into the season fully healthy though, I don't see his points per game increasing back to where it once was, but I think we can get back to relying on him as the base of our defense and glass cleaner. With this starting five, plus the depth provided by the bench coming into the season fully healthy, we can definitely expect a way better start to the season than last year's 14-16 record through the first 30 games. And with that, we can also predict that they would definitely finish the season higher than 9th in the East and with a better record than 43-39. Which is why this season I'm predicting for the Hawks to win 50 plus games, which has a value of plus 170 odds on FanDuel, as well as finishing the season top 5 and making a deep run in the playoffs. On face value, the Hawks may not seem like they match up well with the powerhouse teams of the East, but I'm here to tell you the Hawks are just as scary, if not more scary, because of one factor, and that's Trae Young, who I predict to be one of the 3 finalists for the NBA MVP award this upcoming season. But everything the man did this past season, I don't know how he was never in the conversation, but I'll accept the excuse that he didn't play for a winning team. This season, that excuse goes out the window, and the NBA will be forced to put some respect on Trae Young and the Hawks' name. Thank you for listening, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.